Three masked intruders trying to break into a home, one terrified family, and a split second between survival and disaster. This is what contemporary fighting arts trains for. Let's check it out. Recently, three masked individuals appeared to terrorize a Virginia family in the middle of the night and tried to break in. What everyone thought was a real home invasion. One even dragged his finger across his throat, a disturbing gesture caught on camera. Fortunately, police later discovered it was actually relatives playing an incredibly reckless prank, one that could have turned deadly in seconds. Let me give you the context that this clip does not show. Three masked individuals didn't just stand on a porch and threaten the homeowner. They went around the back of the house, tore down the fence, and destroyed the back door screen to try to get inside. The homeowner told reporters that she initially said Happy Halloween, but when they did not leave, she realized it was not a joke. After several days, police later determined the incident was a prank, but the family's fear was real, and the escalation here from threat to property damage to entry attempt closely resembles the sequence found in many genuine home invasions. Listen to the homeowner here. She says that she's going to exercise her Second Amendment right to protect her family.
Our Second Amendment right was not used and could have been, being very transparent.
They broke the fence, moved around the back, and tried the door again. That's not chaos, that's methodology. That's the sequence every real attacker follows. Doorknob jiggled, threats made, property destroyed, family terrorized. This is not a drill. This is the reality your martial art will never prepare you for. You just saw the progression: intent, threat, escalation, breach attempt. That's how real violence unfolds. That's why contemporary fighting arts trains for real-world self-defense, not martial arts fantasy choreography. Here's what adds even more context. This happened in Virginia, a state where many homeowners legally own firearms for home defense. The woman in this footage was one of them, prepared to defend her family if it came to that. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but a few seconds of misjudgment could have turned this from a prank into a tragedy. That's why understanding escalation, perception, and lawful use of deadly force is critical. Now, put yourself in that situation. Imagine it's 10 o'clock at night, you're home alone, and three individuals start pounding on your front door. What do? That's the moment the whole world compresses into seconds. The homeowner did not shoot. She did not have to. But one bad decision and that story ends up with flashing lights and police tape instead of an interview. And it's just another example of the critical go, no-go moments of self-defense that I always talk about in my videos. These are split-second tactical decisions that most people never train for, including martial artists.
From the ancient Colosseum, where gladiators lived and died, to the storm-torn seas, where iron met flesh upon shattered decks, to the battlefield, where wrath carved kingdoms in blood, bone, and steel, we follow the War Machine. War Machine Chronicles celebrates the warrior archetype, the ethos society seeks to suppress, to soften, to erase. From the age of iron and blood, where warriors roared defiance in the face of death, to all men who still feel the war drum beat beneath their skin, written for fighters, soldiers, and survivors. For those who still walk the edge, it is transformation, forged to harden the mind, discipline the body, and sharpen the will. War Machine Chronicles, not just a book, it's a sacred codex of wrath. Over 300 pages, More than 100 haunting illustrations, combat verse, and lethal philosophy forged by Sammy Franco. War Machine Chronicles, not just a story, but a weapon. It teaches, it tests, it transforms. War Machine Chronicles, available now on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle.
Here's a rule of thumb to avoid a costly legal nightmare. If the door is closed, use your voice, call the police, and deny access. If the door is breached, the dynamics change and you need proper training to respond. So, here's the big question. Are you trained to handle that moment? Does your martial art actually prepare you for this? No, of course it doesn't. Because martial arts are not designed for real-world situations like this. They train for rules, fair conditions, perfect environments, and compliant partners. And none of them train with firearms. They talk about self-defense, but can't even integrate the most common weapon of deadly force today. Let me make this perfectly clear. This is yet another example of why contemporary fighting arts is the gold standard of reality-based self-defense. Because your martial art, I don't care if it's Jeet Kune Do, Filipino martial arts, Krav Maga, MMA, or boxing, does not prepare you for three masked intruders trying to break into your home in the middle of the night intent on killing you and your family. End of story. But CFA does, and for the countless other forms of violence that the martial arts world never even acknowledges. That's what separates CFA from every other system or method. We train the entire spectrum of force, from hand-to-hand combat to firearms training and everything else in between, so you're not forced to switch disciplines when your life is on the line. If you want to learn how to prepare for situations like this, start with my books When Seconds Count or 1001 Street Fighting Secrets. Those books do not offer opinions. They are preparation steps and self-defense solutions. They map threat sequences. They explain critical tactical decision points. They build the family protection mindset you need when reality knocks on your front door. These books are examples of a long-standing doctrine in contemporary fighting arts. This is not headline reaction. This is the CFA curriculum. And for those of you defending your martial art with the ad hoc comment, "My instructor taught me how to deal with this," good for him. One open-minded instructor doesn't make a complete reality-based self-defense system. Borrowing concepts from experts doesn't make it yours. Real doctrine is tested, taught, and documented. That's CFA. Hey, we're about to get back into the video, but let me ask you something. Do you want to legitimately accelerate your self-defense skills? And are you sick of clickbait videos teaching absolute garbage? Or tired of being misled by unqualified wannabe experts who have zero credibility or experience? If the answer is yes, now is the time to join my War Machine memberships. As a member, you're going to get exclusive access to in-depth training videos, exclusive full-feature video content, downloadable training PDFs, and direct insights you're not going to find anywhere else. Plus, you're going to have direct access to me in the comments section of all my videos. So if you have questions, you're going to get real, detailed answers from me and not some random keyboard warrior. So if you're serious about mastering real-world combat skills, hit the join button below and start training like a true war machine. Now, let's get back to the lesson. And now, the inevitable gun fanatics will shout, "I'll just shoot him." Don't be an idiot, because if you're thinking that, you are not thinking about the law, the aftermath, or the reality of your consequences. Deadly force is not a fantasy switch you flip when someone threatens you from outside your house. The legal standard is simple in principle and complex in practice. You must reasonably believe your life or the life of an innocent person is in imminent danger. The rules about retreat, castle doctrine, and what is reasonable change from state to state. That means you cannot assume you are free to fire through a door or into a crowd and just walk away scot-free. There are criminal charges, civil liability, and the rest of your life on the line if you get it wrong. And many people do. So do everyone a favor. Stop with the internet bravado. If you own a firearm, get certified training from a qualified instructor. Understand your local laws and talk to an attorney about use of force in your jurisdiction. Integrate your weapon into a coherent family protection plan. Don't let armchair experts and social media idiots be your legal strategy. Legally speaking, deadly force is reserved for when you reasonably believe an imminent mortal threat exists. How that looks in practice varies by the state. That's why I do not give legal advice here. If you own a firearm, know your state law and always consult an attorney. The point is simple. You don't get a green light to fire just because someone screams or threatens. Incidents like this prove that awareness, restraint, and training must go hand in hand. A firearm without judgment is as dangerous as no training at all. CFA was built to handle the full spectrum of real-world violence, the kind no martial art ever touches. It was built for survival, not approval. Train for reality, train for survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video.